Which is the most important? तुम्हारा मास्क किधर है? लगाओ. कहाँ है तुम्हारा मास्क? Suddenly someone comes, then you will be sent to quarantine. Because I cannot speak, so that's why we have to follow. It is for your health only. Okay? Otherwise, what is it? Okay. If it is a isothermal case, what is the formula to calculate the work done? Work done. W is equal to NR NRT into ln V2 by V1, where V2 is the final, V1 is the initial. Sit down. Adiabatic process, what is the equation? What is the value of Q in an adiabatic process? In adiabatic process, there is no heat exchange, so the value of Q is equal to 0. So, when you say in an adiabatic process, basically Q is equal to delta U plus W, isn't it? So here Q becomes equal to 0. So it implies delta U is equal to minus W. Whenever you talk about external work, always remember, you see whether the volume is increasing or decreasing. If volume is increasing, it is a positive work. If volume is decreasing, it is a negative work. So if it is a positive work, what is happening? Your internal energy will decrease actually. How? I will tell you one case. Suppose this is your that piston arrangement. Okay? This is your piston. Right? So here, initially, with these gas molecules, now they are exerting some pressure on this piston. So the piston will move in the upward direction. So this was your initial volume. This is your final volume. So your volume increased or decreased? The volume increased, right? So it is a positive work. But look at your internal energy. The volume got increased. So kinetic energy got increased or decreased? It has now more volume. The kinetic energy decreased actually. What is internal energy? It is the sum total of kinetic energy of all these gas molecules here. You have all these gas molecules, no? You calculate the kinetic energy of all the molecules, that is your internal energy. Now earlier it was only in this volume. Now they have bigger volume. They have more space. So their kinetic energy dropped, their internal energy dropped. Is it not true as per the equation also? Okay? You have to understand that volume increasing, expansion, it is a positive work. Okay? While I am telling you, keep writing important points also. The entire recording I am going to put in that YouTube link also. That it will be there for you to again watch. And any point you have missed, for that purpose only we are putting in the YouTube link. Please give your Maharashtra book also. There is one question I want to discuss there. Give me your Maharashtra state book. Yeah. Shall I move on? Small thing and right. There is another next important concept. Cyclic process. Cyclic process. So when you talk about a process, there are stages, you know. Stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, like that. Here, any process which has started from initial state, it started at initial state and it returns back to initial state. Returns to initial state. That type of process is called cyclic process. It is like this. You came here from the home and again you went back to the home. So it's a cyclic process. Okay. The paths may be different, but essentially you went to home, you went to this institute, and again you went back to home. Okay. So this type of process is called cyclic process. So any time in a cyclic process we have to follow the sign convention. The cyclic process is represented like this. Okay. This is what? This is a PV diagram. See, any thermodynamic process we have to talk in terms of PV diagram. So this is the PV diagram, alright, for a cyclic process. It need not be exactly a circle like this, but it is represented like this. So here, if it is indicated like this, it is clockwise. In a clockwise thing, the work that is positive. Sign convention is why it is like that also we will see, but in a clockwise cyclic process, the work done is, what is this? This is work done. How do you find the work done basically? You have to find the area under PV diagram. You have to find basically area under the PV diagram. Simple. Alright? Suppose in another cyclic process, they give you anti-clockwise. The sign is shown like this. So here the work done is negative. Okay? The first thing you have to understand this right now. So cyclic process is something which starts from the initial state, it goes off here and there, and finally returns back to the initial state. So that type of process is a cyclic process. In a cyclic process, you have to understand that the final internal energy is basically equal to initial internal energy, or delta U is equal to 0. If you find this condition delta U is equal to 0, it means it is a cyclic process. Okay? If you find delta U is equal to 0 in a particular question, it means it is a cyclic process. Now, if delta U is equal to 0, what is your equation? Q is equal to delta U plus W, right? So, in a cyclic process, what is happening? Delta U is equal to 0, that means Q is equal to W. All that heat that is being supplied is used to do some external work. Okay? Note. So there was one question here. Let me page number 96. Have you written down? So there is a question here. See, sometimes you will be asked to construct the PV diagram. you will be asked to construct the PV diagram. You have to understand the data given and you have to construct the PV diagram. So this question is of that type. A cyclic process ABCA is shown in VT diagram. VT diagram is volume versus temperature diagram. The diagram shown is like this. Okay, and you are asked to construct the PV diagram from this. So let me just explain that. Alright, so the left hand part is the diagram they have given you. It's a process. It is a V versus T graph. So how do you analyze these type of graphs means you have to see how the parameters are changing. Alright, so here you see AB portion. AB portion, what is happening? Temperature rising or decreasing? Temperature rising or decreasing? Temperature is increasing. What about the volume? Increasing or decreasing? Volume also increasing. Decreasing. Volume is increasing, temperature is increasing. Can I say if volume is proportional to T? If volume is proportional to T, that means T was constant. If T is constant, which type of thermodynamic process? Isobaric. Isobaric. So for this portion AB, it is an isobar. Isobar, how it should be? It should be a straight line parallel to the V axis. Yesterday I told you. Okay. Now come to the BC portion. BC portion, temperature is dropping. Okay. What about volume? In this diagram, you see T2 became T1. Temperature is dropping, but volume is constant. Volume is constant. You can see here, you have to draw isochoric diagram now. So BC is the isochoric. Clear? This portion is isobaric. Clear? Now come to C2A. What is happening? Volume is dropping at constant temperature. It's an isothermal process basically. Constant temperature. Volume is dropping. Pressure will increase. So that is what it is. Volume is dropping. Pressure is increasing. So this is the PV diagram for that. So these type of questions are asked. So we should be able to construct the PV diagram. So this portion was what? Isothermal. No need to write all this, only for your understanding I am writing. So write down. So look here. This I told you is a expression for adiabatic, right? Gamma is the adiabatic ratio I told you. For monoatomic gas, there will be a value 3, how much? 5 by 3. Diatomic 7 by 5. And polyatomic will be 4 by 3. Those values have to remember. So sometimes in the question, actually, even this form and this form, basically these two are come from this only. You have to remember these two also. These are also adiabatic expressions only. These are also another way of writing. Here only you have pressure and volume. Only temperature volume is given. You should use this expression. Only pressure and temperature given. You should use this expression. Okay. These three are adiabatic forms only. So write down. See, often this isothermal and adiabatic they look little similar PV diagram wise. There is a slight variation in there. We will understand with one particular case. The curvature for adiabatic and isothermal, they almost look same only. Both are just hyperbola type only. But there is a small difference, you know. So in this example, you can see that both have started from the same pressure. Both have started from the same pressure. Curvature 1 represents isothermal. Curvature 2 represents adiabatic. Okay. If you see the final pressures are more in which? So this is the pressure axis. So for isothermal, this is the pressure ordinate. For adiabatic, this is the pressure ordinate. Where the pressure is more? The pressure is more for the isothermal. Okay? First point. Area under the curve if you take. So this was the curvature. This was the curvature. I have to take the whole area. Where the area is more? For the first curve or the second curve. You have to take area with respect to the x-axis. Where the area is more? It is more for the isothermal only. That is why W1 is greater than W2. Clear? And more pressure means more temperature. Right? So these three, this is the smart difference between a isothermal process and a adiabatic process. Even though the curvature looks similar only, but there is a small difference. And in the adiabatic process, you need to understand that there is no heat transfer. There is no heat transfer. Just make a note. Over. Over. We will see another question. question, a process is given, it is shown like this. First of all, tell me, is this a cyclic process or not? Okay. So the process is given to you, and these axes are, this is P versus V, and these are P versus T, all four. P versus T, and sorry, this is volume versus time. This is volume versus time, and this is volume versus time. Okay. 1 and 3 are P and T. Yeah. So the first one is a process. It says that an ideal gas is subjected to a cyclic process. You can see that this is a cyclic process because this is the initial state and it has gone back to the initial state. Okay. And originally you have been given with the PV diagram. So you have to tell out of these four options which is an equivalent cyclic process. Which is a equivalent cyclic process. Now you see here A to B, B to C, C to D and D to A. This is the pattern. A to B, B to C, C to D. Look at the options. This is B to A. Right? A to B, B to C, C to D. Looks fine. Looks fine. This also looks fine. Okay? What option we have eliminated? Now, A to B, this is a straight line. What does the straight line means? It is a constant pressure. Constant pressure means isobaric. Look here, this is straight. This is not straight. So this is gone. First shot itself, it's gone. So I am telling you, you can play Inky Pinky Ponky also. But there is a more logical way of doing it also. I know most of you guys are going to do Inky Pinky Ponky only, but still it is my duty to tell you. That's why. So this is gone. Now come to this. A to B looks fine. Okay. Now B to C. What is happening? With the increase in volume, the temperature, the pressure is dropping. With the increase in volume, the pressure is dropping. Which law? Boys. अब आधा घंटा लगेगा वहाँ पे टाइम वेस्ट होगा. Boys, ठीक है? Boys law में temperature constant. So look here. This looks fine. This looks fine. This is already gone. This looks fine. Okay? So temperature is constant. Now come here. C to D, there is an abrupt fall. Adiabatic process is abrupt fall. Okay? C to D, their pressure, volume, temperature all varies actually. So here it is given like this, and here it is given like this. What is the meaning of this? C to D, volume is constant, he is saying. C to D, volume is constant. Is the volume constant there? The volume is not constant. You can see that the volume is dropping. See, this was the volume and this is the volume. We are moving in this direction. The volume is dropping. But as per this diagram, is the volume dropping? Wrong answer. Okay? Look at this option. The volume is dropping. And the last one, D to A, with decreasing volume, the pressure is rising. Again isothermal. So it's a straight line. Like this, you have to do the question. Right after. By the way, don't break it in pocket because it's going to cost you heavily. If you don't know, go to the next question. You are supposed to solve the question. What do you think? I was solving the question or I was doing something? Okay? So every question you have to solve the options. Sometimes in the 4 options, the first option you know very sure that this is the answer. Take mark and go to the next one. Written? See, for adiabatic process, there must be some insulation. Like a thermoflask, you know what is an insulator? Insulator insulates you, it will prevent you from the escape of heat. You use insulators in electric wires also. When you touch it, you should not get the current shock. So insulator basically, if you are talking about electricity, they are bad conductors of electricity. Right? Similarly here also, whenever you talk about an adiabatic process, there must be some insulation happening. This is another thing you should remember in your head. Okay? Over? Alright. There is another term called free expansion. Sometimes you are asked about free expansion. The name itself suggests something which expands freely. Here, what is the thing is, you have a chamber like this. Half of the chamber you have filled with some gas. Half of the chamber you have filled with some gas. And then suddenly what you do is, you make this space also available for the gas. It's like, a room is there. In between you put a partition, right? A tight partition, and you somehow you remove this partition. What will happen? This gas by itself will occupy this region also. Initially this is vacuum. Nothing is there, let us say. Although there is no vacuum, but imagine that there is a vacuum. This chamber is filled. There are 2 chambers. This chamber is filled with some gas. You remove the piston or you expanded the piston. What will happen? This gas will freely occupy this volume also. So this concept is called free expansion. Now here in this, see the volume has expanded. The volume got expanded. Did you do any work? Did you supply any heat? Understanding? In our earlier processes, you used to give heat. Then the volume used to get expanded. Are you giving any heat here? Are you boiling it or doing something? You are not doing that. So you are not providing any Q. Are you doing any external work? You are not doing. Okay? No W. So what was the equation? Q is equal to delta U plus W, right? Neither you gave some heat nor any work is done. Okay? So in this situation, the U remains constant. In a free expansion, the internal energy remains constant. If they may ask you in multiple choice questions, these type of questions, in a free expansion, what happens? So you should be able to answer. You should recollect this diagram. Okay? In free expansion, what happens? U remains constant because neither you are supplying any heat nor any work is done. Right now. They ask you about free expansion, you should draw the diagram and you should remember this condition. Delta, see, when Q is equal to 0, W is equal to 0, delta U becomes 0. That means U initial is equal to U final. That means U was a constant parameter. U was a constant parameter. Let us move on to the next one. Second law of thermodynamics. We have seen the first law of thermodynamics. Second law of thermodynamics. See, while talking about, see why we are studying thermodynamics first of all. Why we are studying thermodynamics means you have a heat energy which you are converting into some other form of energy, mechanical energy. Or the reverse way, let us say. Okay? So there is an energy play from heat energy to some other form of energy, usually a mechanical energy or a mechanical energy to heat energy. So there is a mechanism involved. Now in the first law of thermodynamics, you talked about Q, delta U and W. Alright. So basically, can I say that I am providing 100 joules of energy and all the 100 joules of energy was converted into mechanical work? Is it possible? It is not possible. That is what is second law of thermodynamics. There must be some losses. Okay? So complete heat cannot be converted into useful work. Complete heat, what you are giving, like you are putting under the stove, you want to boil the milk, you are giving heat. So some heat is getting exhausted to the environment. Okay, and some heat is used For that boiling of that milk, finally you get your boiled milk, and with that you can do what you wish to do. Alright? So in this process, second law of thermodynamics, complete heat cannot be converted into a useful work. Reverse way also, it is thing. You have done some work, can I again regain back the same energy? I use some energy, I got some mechanical work. You think in a reverse way, is it possible? It is not possible. So both are implied by that. It's like a refrigerator. See what you are doing basically. It is cooling the room temperature, right? We will see that how does a refrigerator works. So this is one thing. Now when we talk about thermodynamics, when we talk about heat engines and all that, we come across two terms: reservoir and a sink. Sink basically also is a reservoir, but when you say reservoir, it is a hot reservoir. This is at a higher temperature, okay? And this is little cold. This is at a lower temperature. Sink means a lower temperature. Usually you take a fuel, you take a substance, and you heat up this. And reservoir will be involved in supplying the heat. Reservoir will be involved in the supplying the heat. Now this supplying heat can be external process or an internal process. Supplying heat can be a external process or an internal process. In the vehicles what you see is an internal combustion engine. The vehicles what you see, it is an internal combustion engine. If it is an external process, you call external combustion engine. Clear? Basically the reservoir is supplying the heat, and that heat we are converting into work. Which work? Some useful work. But here we have to understand that entire heat cannot be converted into useful mechanical work. That is what the second law of thermodynamics states. There are two statements here. One is a Clashes statement, second one is a Kelvin-Planck statement. It is there in the book. You can go through that. Basically what both of them have said, I have put it in the same line. As per the second Kelvin-Planck statement, 100% efficiency is not possible. What do you mean by 100% efficiency? 100 joules was provided and all the 100 joule converted into mechanical heat. What is this? 100% efficiency? Yes or no? 100 joules of energy was given. All the 100 joules was converted into mechanical energy. So what is the efficiency? 100%, right? 100% is practically not possible. That is Kelvin-Planck statement. Kelvin-Planck. There are two statements here. One is a Clashes statement. Another is Kelvin-Planck statement. These two constitute second law of thermodynamics. So this fellow says 100% efficiency not possible. Okay? And the first fellow, the concept of reservoir and sink, I told you, no? From reservoir to sink, the heat flows. To sink to reservoir, heat cannot flow. Okay? In other words, heat can't flow by itself from a colder to hotter body. Heat cannot flow by itself from colder to hotter body. Hotter to colder body, it flows by itself. But reverse is not true. You have to do something so that it flows. So this is about second law of thermodynamics. I would like to conclude the lecture here. Some more things we will see in the next class. So the recording I have done, I am going to post it in the YouTube. Later on you watch.